Hi, welcome to the first project in Helius's Solana developer series. In this video, we're going to be walking through the Solana Wallet Adapter and learning how to implement it in a React application. My name is Nathan Galindo. I'm a developer experience engineer at Helius. I'm based in Texas and I'm a full stack Solana developer. Feel free to reach out to me via email or Twitter to ask me any questions regarding this course, Helius, or Solana. In today's video, we're going to be showing you how to fund your Solana wallet with Devnet SOL. We're going to be doing a quick overview of the project that we'll be completing today. And the majority of this video will be us actually building out the project. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and build out project 1, where we learn how to integrate the Solana Wallet Adapter into a React application. So as you can see on my screen is the open source repository that we'll be using out to build out this project and all subsequent projects in this course. You can go ahead and find it by navigating to my GitHub profile and then to the Solana repo called Solana Frontend Development Course. It is a public repository, so you can go ahead and click on this code, a button, and copy in this link, or if you have SSH set up with GitHub, you can copy this one. And once you do that, go into your IDE of choice. I like to use VS Code. You simply type git clone, and then you would copy and paste. Oops, my apologies. You'd copy and paste that URL like so, and you then press enter. I'm not going to go ahead and do that because, as you can see, I already have the course installed here locally on my machine. But once you've done that, what I want you to do is make sure that you have the Phantom wallet installed on your browser. Now I'm using Chrome. I'm sure Phantom has, actually we can go ahead and check. Phantom has wallet extensions for Firefox, Chrome, Brave, and Edge. Like I said, I'm using Chrome. I recommend Chrome. It's, I think, probably the best for development purposes. It's what I use the most. But anyways, so once you have Phantom installed and once you downloaded this repository locally, what I want you to do is go ahead and navigate to Pages, the Wallets folder, and then on your screen, open up the finished file and the starter file. I've opened up side by side like so. You can open them up however you'd like, and make sure to go ahead and install all the dependencies using Yarn like so. As you can see, I've already installed my dependencies. Now you should have all these dependencies and you should have already installed this repo, and you should even have already installed the Phantom browser extension if you watched the previous video where we set up your developer environment. So if you haven't, go ahead and pause this video here and watch that previous video. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that you have everything you need to get started with this course, and we'll go ahead and do that right now. So to run the application locally, go ahead and type in yarn dev in your terminal. You should see output that looks similar to mine. As you can see, our application is running on localhost port 3000. So if we go to our browser and type in localhost port 3000, like so, you should see this page render, essentially. So assuming that worked for you, I'm going to go ahead and continue. If you don't have this result, go ahead and pause the video and try to debug that and join us once you've finished. But today, our first project is project 1, wallets, where again, we're going to use the Solana Wallet Adapter in our application. So we have 2 buttons here, preview, starter, and then on the side we have requirements. Requirements is just a list of dependencies that you'll need to get started with this project, but we can go ahead and ignore that for now. A preview for each of these projects is always going to be basically a finished version of the project we're trying to build, just for reference, essentially. So as you can see here, we have 2 Solana Wallet adapters. This is the global Solana Wallet Adapter that we'll be using as we interact with other projects throughout this course. This is just another Solana Wallet Adapter locally for this single project. It's kind of redundant and technically useless since we already have installed the global wallet adapter. However, I wanted to give you the experience of setting it up yourself, and so that's why we have it there. But if you click on it and you connect your Solana wallet using the Phantom browser extension, you can see that nothing really happens or changes in our application. Whereas if you click the one up here, all of a sudden our state updates on our app, and we can see that our wallet is connected and that the balance of our wallet is 1. And we can confirm that by clicking up here. And we can see that, as a matter of fact, our SOL balance is 1. Now, what I want you to note is that I'm currently in testnet mode. To interact with these applications, you need to be in testnet mode. That's because we're not using real SOL tokens, of course, because that would be pretty expensive. So you can activate developer settings by going to your settings page, clicking on the developer settings tab, and activating testnet mode like so. Make sure this is Solana DevNet. Never mind the Ethereum. We won't be using Ethereum. This is obviously a Solana specific course. So once you have that set up, you should be ready to go. Now, you might not see that you have any Solana whatsoever. You might see a zero SOL. So in order to process the transactions that you'll need to when interacting with some of these courses, you're going to need some balance of Devnet Solana. Now, you won't need that for this course because we're just reading some of the wallet details when you connect your Solana Wallet Adapter. So because we're just reading information, we actually aren't signing any transactions. You don't need Solana for this specific project. However, for future projects, you will. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that right now. In the past video, if you've watched it, you should have installed the Solana CLI. If so, go ahead and type in Solana and you should get output that looks something like that. So what you can do is you can run the command Solana airdrop, and let's just airdrop 1 token. Go ahead and open your browser extension, copy the address to your testnet Solana wallet, and go ahead and paste that. Now, unfortunately, sometimes this command fails. It just so happens to do that. So if this failed, I recommend just giving, maybe some time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe possibly even 30 minutes, and just running this command again later. And hopefully it will work. Sometimes it fails, sometimes it works. If it did work, you should see some kind of success output, and in that case you could reload your Phantom browser extension and this number should be updated, and so that's how you would typically fund your browser extension Solana wallet. There are also a lot of helpful Solana faucets. This is a good one. So in this case, you would simply copy and paste your wallet address and select an amount and airdrop some Solana to your wallets. Here, let me go ahead and actually test that right now. And I received a success. Airdrop was successful. And so if I click on my Solana wallet, you can now see that I have 1.5 SOL. Fantastic. And you don't need that much SOL to interact with these applications because SOL gas fees are very inexpensive. Now in this starter page, which is this right here. This is where you will build out your version of the project. We can get started by simply, let me go ahead and make this a little bit smaller, easier to view. You can go ahead and get started by deleting this boilerplate right here, and we can add some React fragments to fix that error message. And we can go ahead and delete this import here. We won't be needing it. As you can see in the finished file, I've added all of the imports we'll require for this project with comments explaining each. Because imports aren't really that important, you can go ahead and just copy and paste them. I won't blame you for copy and pasting these imports, but I do highly recommend that you type out the rest of this project, as I'll be typing that with you. This is because when you type out the code yourself, you'll really exercise that muscle memory, and it'll really solidify into your brain just the process of building out these kinds of applications. I really do believe that, because you could absolutely just copy and paste this code into your app, but that's not as fun, and I think you'll get more out of this project if you type it out yourself. So what do we want to start? Well, this is a React application. React is a stateful front-end framework, meaning that we update the state of our application using state parameters like these. So we're going to go ahead and specify the state parameters that our app will use. So if you actually, let me go ahead and we'll show you the preview. You can see that the state that's changing in our app are basically these two parameters. Is our wallet connected? Right now it's no. And the balance of our wallets, right now it's 0. Once we connect, you can see that state is updated. So that being said, what we want to do is specify the balance states and the function to update that state. And we're going to pull the React use states. And because this is a TypeScript application, we're going to specify the type of the state. And we're going to initialize the state to be 0, just like so. And as you can see, per my comment, this allows us to add the wallet accounts balance to our React function components. So if you look down here, we can see that we add our balance like so. Okay, so there's our states. Next, because we are importing the wallet adapter into our application, we're going to need to access the network that our wallet will be operating on. So like I said, we're only going to be working on the Devnet, the Solana Devnet. So we're going to specify our endpoint to work on and this is a function from the Solana Web3.js library, the most popular front-end development library for Solana. We're going to use the cluster API URL function, and we're going to specify that we are working on the Devnet. Okay. Now it's time to specify for our wallet adapter which wallets we want to use. So here I've only specified one wallet, which is the Phantom wallet. It's by far the most popular wallet for interacting with Solana applications. So you can go ahead and specify that by doing const wallets and then set it equal to an array. And then we're going to do new, we're going to create a new instance of the wallet adapter wallets. And then we're going to access the Phantom wallet adapter just like so. And just like that, we're almost ready to get working on the meat of the application. We just have to set up a few more things. So again, the wallet adapter requires a connection like so. So we're going to use this connection function that we've imported from the Solana Wallet Adapter library. And we're also going to get our public key from our wallets using the use wallet function, also from the wallet adapter library. So this will give us our public key for our wallet, and this will give us basically the connection that our wallet is set up and working, essentially. So that being said, once we connect our wallet to our application, this public key will be populated with the public key of our wallet, and this connection will be, is a Boolean value, and it will turn into a true. Currently, it's false, right? Because there's no connection. So now we want to actually check these values for when we connect our wallet to the application. So when the status of connection or public key changes, we execute the code block below. And essentially what we're doing is if the connection and the public key exist, so that if our wallet is connected to the application, then we're going to get the info from our wallet. So we're going to grab that connection and get the account info of our wallet using the public key of the wallet. And then we're going to use that information to set the balance of our application using this set balance function we described up above. Using this info, checking that, LAN ports, we're going to grab the amounts of LAN ports that we have. And then we're going to divide that by basically the amounts of LAN ports that exist in a single SOL token. So for those of you that are new to Solana, a LAN port is the smallest denomination of a Solana token. So let's go ahead and build out that logic. So we're going to use the use effect. The React use effect function is essentially allows us to run some code whenever some kind of state changes in our application. So here we've specified that whenever the connection variable changes or the public key variable changes, then we're going to run the code that we specify in this block. Remember that these variables would only change when we connect our wallet to our application. So we're going to specify this asynchronous function called getInfo, and let's go ahead and call it down here, getInfo, and we're gonna write the logic. So connection and public key. So if these two variables exist, and they would only exist if we connect our wallet to the application, then we're going to grab the info of our wallet. We can even make this a little bit more semantic, like wallet's info. And because this is an asynchronous function, we're going to use the await keyword. We're going to grab that connection. We're going to use the get account info method and pass it the public key of our wallet. And now that we have our wallet info, we're going to set the balance of our application using that wallet info. Now we're going to use the bang operator because this tells TypeScript that this LAN ports attribute on our wallet info object absolutely exists. And then we're going to divide that by this LAN ports per SOL. Now, really, this is just a short semantic way of typing out this number. This number is essentially how many LAN ports go into one SOL token. As you can see here, there are 1 billion LAN ports in one SOL token. This is just easier to read and faster than actually typing out, the number 1 billion. So once we have that, this is essentially the logic to update our balance state variable. And with that being said, we can actually get to the meat of the application, which is building out the front-end components that you will be interacting with, that our users will be interacting with. But let's actually pay attention to these first three items up here. So what are these? So like I mentioned before, we're going to be basically implementing a local version of the Solana Wallet Adapter just to get your hands dirty with the Solana Wallet Adapter and what it's like to implement it in a React application. So first, what you want to do is set up the connection provider. This gives your Solana Wallet adapter access to the network that you'll be interacting with. So in this case, the connection that we've set up for our application is to the Devnet, as we specified up here. If we wanted it to be for the mainnet, we type it like so, or maybe it's main. Actually, I forgot what the keyword is for the mainnet, but for the Devnet, it's this. Next, we're going to be specifying the wallet provider, so which wallets we want to accept for our application. So here, we've only specified one wallet, which is Phantom. If you wanted to do other wallets, you'd simply add a comma, create a new instance of the wallet adapter wallet, and then you could basically add any wallet. So for example, if you wanted to add support for the Slope wallet, you could do it like so. And just like that, our application now has access to the Slope wallet as well. And actually, yeah, so that's how you do it. But we're going to just be using the Phantom Wallet Adapter for simplicity's sake. But that's important information to know. And finally, this is the wallet modal provider. And so when you click on your wallet and you get this drop down, this is essentially what allows you to get that drop down when you click on your Solana Wallet Adapter button, essentially. So that this functionality is brought to you by this tag here. So we can go ahead and get started by initializing our application with Solana Wallet Adapter React, and we're going to get the connection provider. Connection provider like so. We're going to specify the endpoints, and we're going to set it equal to the endpoints we have here. Oops. And so now we're going to open those tags. Your code should look like mine. Let me format that a little bit. There we go. And so once we have that, we're going to go ahead. I'm getting an error message. Yeah, so it's missing children. Don't worry about that. We're going to go ahead and get the Wallet Adapter React. We're going to access the wallet provider. And then we're going to specify the wallets to our wallets array that we created earlier. And then finally, we're going to get the wallets modal provider, and we're going to open up those tags like so. And now we can actually get to the HTML of our application. This is the part of our application where we'll be creating the actual UI components that your users will be interacting with. We are using Tailwind CSS for styling. If you've never used Tailwind before, I recommend visiting their documentation. You can do Tailwind docs. Oops, this is actually their old documentation. Make sure that the documentation says 3.4. That's their latest documentation. They have really great docs. I recommend using this to learn about Tailwind and how to use it. But maybe that's a little bit beyond the scope of this project. In the meantime, you can just go ahead and follow along with me. So click on Starter where we're building out this project. And we're going to go ahead and just type in main. And now we're going to create, and we can go ahead for simplicity's sake and just copy and paste in that CSS, because I know CSS isn't everybody's forte and it can be quite annoying. Actually, I'm going to type it out myself just to give us a practice. So right now we're creating a grid of one column, and on larger screen sizes, we're going to give this grid 4 columns. Each column is going to have a gap of 4, and this div is going to have padding of 4. Yep, that seems about right. Now we're going to create another div under that. This is going to be flex component with justify between, so that an item center, this vertically aligns each item within this div, and it separates each item in this div to the farthest ends of the width of this div. And so here we're gonna put a title, and I put an emoji. You can put any emoji you want or no emoji, it's really up to you. I just wanted to have some fun. And this is, so this section right here, the wallet multi-button, this is the more interesting part of our header. So this button right here that you use to interact with your Solana wallet, Solana wallets, that's what this is. This is the wallet multi-button, essentially. We've imported it from the Wallet Adapter React UI library. And so what I want you to do is simply use it in your application, wallet multi-button, and you close it like so. Now you could leave this button here and it works perfectly fine, but you'll notice that it has a default phantom branding. So what you'll want to do is you'll actually, if you want to give it your own kind of aesthetic touch, you'll go ahead and press class name, and you'll basically give it whatever kind of coloring you want, but make sure to use this bang operator, this exclamation points in front of each aesthetic adjustment. So you can see I changed the background color of this button with the bang operator. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this for simplicity's sake. Actually, before I do that, I want to just demonstrate that. So say we want to change the background color to red. So I would do bang background red, say 500, and just like that, we have a new background color. So now I'm going to go ahead and copy this CSS to make our lives a little bit easier. Copy and paste that. And just like that, you have a restyled wallet adapter button that you can use. Okay, so that's essentially our header. To see our header a little bit better, I'm going to use the border. Okay, and so now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and under this header div, so I'll just comment this out as header, we're going to create the body of our application. So go ahead and create another div tag, div container. And this isn't super core to the application. This is just CSS, so you can go ahead and copy paste that there if you'd like. We're going to create an unordered list with, I'm going to give that some padding, the list some padding. And as you can see, our list is starting to render here on screen. And now this is kind of the most interesting part of our application, this unordered list, because this is where we'll be basically creating our state changes on the application. So what are we creating here? Well, we have two list items. One is that connection string, is my wallet connected? Now, if we have a public key, then de facto, yes, our wallet is connected, because we would only have a populated public key item variable if our wallet is connected to the application. Otherwise, we put a no. So this kind of operation is called a ternary operation. You can think of it as a simple if else, right? If our public key exists, if it's populated with a value, we're going to render yes on the browser. Otherwise, we're going to render no. So let's go ahead and create that. So list item with the CSS of flex, and then justify between, like so. And then we're going to just type in wallet is connected, or you could even do an exclamation mark, whatever is more semantic to you. We're going to give this a CSS of tracking wider. This just increases the space between letters, small detail. And then here, this is where we input our ternary operation. So public key, if that exists, then we're going to render a yes. Otherwise, we're going to render a no. Our wallet is not connected to the application. And we're going to give that some CSS as well. Italic, font semi-bold, just like so. Okay, awesome. So that's our first list item. Now, if we connect our wallets to the app using the global wallet provider, you can see that that's already functioning the way we want it to. So I'm going to go ahead and re-render my page, and the state should be reset to the default value of no. Okay, awesome. So finally, we're going to create the last list item. This is, I guess you could say, the most complicated part of our application, where we are actually updating the state and calculating the balance of our wallet in SOL tokens. So go ahead and write this CSS with me. And once you do that, we're going to write the text balance. And we're going to give it the CSS of tracking wider. And then finally, we're going to write the balance into the UI of our app and give it the CSS of text Helius orange, and then font semi-bold. Okay. And so with that, you can see because our wallet is not connected to the app, this is 0. But once I connect my wallet, what happens is that the connection and the public key variables are no longer false or empty, which executes this code block in which we're checking, verifying that these values are in fact not empty. And then we go ahead and fetch the wallet info information and set the balance of our application, just like so, making sure that we divide our amount of LAMP ports by the value of a LAMP port relative to a SOL token. Now, for example, if we deleted this, our number all of a sudden grows by a lot. So that's how many LAMP ports you have, but this is how many SOL tokens you have. So you can even comment that out. How many SOL tokens in your wallet? So that's essentially a functioning version of this wallet adapter app. You've had the experience of setting up the wallet adapter button yourself. You can even explore this repository to study how I've set it up globally for this application. You've built a rudimentary UI that allows you to interact with the wallets connected by the Solana Wallet Adapter and render information from your wallets onto the UI of your little application. What I challenge you to do is make this application your own, give it your own aesthetic, maybe get your hands dirty with some of the CSS, and maybe fix the UI, because as you notice, this UI looks slightly different from the UI that's in our finished project. So if we look at our finished preview, this is the wrong project. This UI looks slightly different. I challenge you to try to recreate this UI and maybe make it your own, and just really get your hands dirty with React and CSS and creating user interfaces, and maybe try grabbing other information from your wallet. So in this example, we've grabbed our public key and we fetched our balance from our wallet. But I challenge you to see what other kind of information you can fetch from your wallet and try to render that information on your app as well. Feel free to get connected with me on Twitter, to get connected with the Helius team on Discord, and to learn more about Helius via our website. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace out.